I am pretty sure you also have your top 5 anime right now. And today I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be talking about my top 5 anime that I want to recommend to you. And you have to watch it now. And if you still haven't watched it right now in big old 2026, then you have to watch it because you're missing a lot. Okay, let's just go straight ahead with my top 5. Starting with my number 5. You already know I've been talking about it a lot here. It's One Piece. And I know a lot of you guys who love One Piece are gonna be like, "Whoa, it's only in the top 5." Let me explain myself, okay? One Piece is definitely my one of my top 5 anime of all time. And just imagine, I've watched anime ever since like I was in the womb. Like my mom watched anime. I watched anime growing up. I watched Naruto. I watched Pokemon and a lot of stuff. So you can just imagine it's a part of my top 5. One Piece, if you don't know about it, it's impossible you don't know about it. Everybody knows about One Piece, but it's like a pirate crew that is exploring the seas to become Luffy. Protagonist wants to become king of the pirates, wants to be the freest in the world, and there's this legendary treasure called One Piece that the pirate king previously left in an island, and all the pirates that are moving and the great pirate era is just basically wanting to find that treasure that's very evasive and nobody has seen it for over 20 years. And basically that's the premise of One Piece. And you see the crew evolving ever since. Like, they're the weakest pirate crew that you ever know. Like, are they even a pirate? To becoming one of the big shots of the entire world. I don't think this would count even as a spoiler, because I just assume everybody would know about it at this point. But yeah, they become really huge big shots in the future. You see parallels that are happening in post time skip, pre time skip, because yeah, there's gonna be a time skip that's happening in the middle of the series, and there's gonna be parallels that are gonna be referencing different arcs. And what I love the most about One Piece is just starting from the very beginning, you just connect with the characters really well. I started watching One Piece ever since I was like 12 years old. So having this tiny crew just navigating to the seas and becoming, starting this journey was really something that was magical to me, because, me being young and 12 years old and also wanting to explore the world and everything before, it was really magical. And especially they go to places and battle people, and then magical places like a island in the sky, for example. Like, what the heck is happening? Like, it's like a good fantasy anime for your typical 12-year-old. And I now am 26 and I still am keeping tabs to One Piece. It's still one of my top 5 of all time. I still keep myself updated. I still read the manga, and just read the recent manga, and the big bad villain of the entire series has finally been revealed and all that type shit, which is really hype, and it's getting me crazy. My childhood self is just like, whoa, what the heck, we're already in the final saga. And I really can't imagine One Piece to end, because it's been a part of my entire life now. And yeah, One Piece is amazing. If you have a child, if you have a friend and who wants to start One Piece, I would start with anime. I don't recommend letting them watch One Piece though, because it has over 1,000 episodes. It's not gonna be a good first for impression for an anime. And if your friend is not like an anime lover, then you should start with something like short episodes. But One Piece is a really good investment to watch. I've watched every single episode starting from episode 1, and so I see the growth of the characters. It's an amazing anime period. My top 4. Can you guess? My top 4 anime is, the drum rolls, Code Geass. If you've watched animes like Death Note, Code Geass, and you love that type of anime, Code Geass is definitely up for you. Until now, like, I've watched Code Geass like around 4 times already across my life. And basically the premise is this: like, there's a student that got this supernatural power of being able to control people and command people when you look at them in the eye. Like, for example, I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, go watch Like, for example, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, look in my eye and do this, and then they're gonna be doing it because that's the power, and it's gonna be irrevocable. It's a strong power, and it's basically like how it's gonna navigate its power and using its intelligence to use it in a world where it's a mecha world. You know, it's like there's gonna be robots fighting robots. That type of anime isn't really my thing, like robots, mecha type of genre, but how he navigates with his powers, how he uses his brain, and how it and how the anime is just not scared of killing off characters is something that's really I love. That's the type of thing that I also love in anime, if they're not scared to kill their characters, especially how season 1 ended. Like, that was psychotic. I still remember getting traumatized. I was like 14 years old and I saw the ending of season 1. I was like, because I was only used to watching happy endings, and to see what happened in the ending of season 1, I was like, yo, what the hell? They really just did that. That's crazy. So if you want to start watching anime and you haven't watched anime at all, I can recommend Code Geass. It only has 2 seasons. I think, if I remember right, around 24 episodes per season. And just wait until you end with season 1. Like, you're gonna want more. And and the ending of the entire anime really just was perfect. There wasn't any controversy or complaints that much about the ending, because it just tied it all very well, which is a certain popular anime has been compared to, which it's also part of my top 5 and I'm gonna be talking about later. But yes, Code Geass, how it started, how it ended, and how it was in between, it was perfect. And if you want to start anime, I really suggest you watch Code Geass. It is amazing. It's definite. It's crazy. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, and it's like a kind of anime where new generation of anime is trying to copy, because it's just that. It's goated. Okay, let's go with our top 3. My top third of the anime is Monster by Naoki Urasawa. And I think you don't know about this. I'm sure not a lot of people know about this, because it's not like a mainstream anime. It's I would say a quote unquote boring anime for people who have short attention spans, because they're just they're just saturated with TikTok or something. But if you have the patience to watch it, and if it's like narrative building is something that's also like on your lane, you should definitely watch it. This is something that I would definitely recommend to you, especially if you're the type of person who just loves story more than action and just attack, like, because there's a lot of people who love anime just because of fighting and no substance, and that's not it. Like, there has to be a balance. I mean, I understand people also are looking for fighting because it's just cool to watch, but sometimes you also need a little bit of substance in your life, and Monster is definitely gonna give it to you. If I remember right, it's like around 72 episodes, 73. And the premise is basically this: the protagonist is Dr. Tenma. He's a doctor, and he saved the life of a child that turned out to be fucking Hitler. I don't know how else to describe it. Just imagine, just like, I don't know if it's real, but wasn't Hitler saved by someone because he was like almost drowning or something, and then he became like something like that? I don't know. Maybe it was just made up, but it's the Monster is basically like that. You save a life of a child that turned out to be a psycho and a mass murderer, and your mission, the basic anime premise is basically, as a doctor, would you let him keep on living, or would you regret what you did and just go and kill him? And that's basically Monster. It's amazing, but I want to put a disclaimer, okay? If you're not mentally well, if you're depressed, then I'm not gonna recommend this anime to you. Like, I strongly would not advise you to watch it, because I remember watching it for a second time and I was depressed and I watched it. I had so much bad, like, self harm thoughts, and it's a whole new other discussion. But Monster basically is gonna make you feel that way because of how just good it's written. It's like basically juggling the concept of nihilism and that type of thing, and you just think like life is meaningless and all of that stuff. I don't want to be too philosophical right now, but Monster is basically like that. So if you're mentally okay, you can watch it. But if you are depressed, don't even try watching Monster. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. It's not good for you to watch. But that's why it's a good anime, because it's just so it's effective, and it made me feel that way, and it lingered for a long time. That was so sad. But yeah, that now we're down to our last two anime. Okay, let's go for our second anime. You know what? Second and first anime can be interchanged sometimes, but my top second anime is, you're right, I just mentioned it earlier, it's Death Note. So Death Note's premise is basically a high school student finding a notebook that when you write a name on it, you'll kill that person. And he becomes this deranged person who thinks he is God by killing the names of criminals. And then eventually there's this detective that got angry that for this person who's trying to act as God, and he's trying to find out who he is, who that person is. And that's the entire Death Note. It's basically like figuring out who is the God, quote unquote, and the person who has the notebook is trying to kill that person without revealing his identity, that he was that person with the notebook the entire time. His name is Yagami Light, and his rival is L. So L is the detective, Light is the killer, and it's basically cat and mouse chase. And it's so good. I really am a sucker for anime that's using brains, and they're just staring at each other and then you just see their internal monologues, and I love that type of anime. It makes me feel like I'm also intelligent, like I'm smart. Like, yeah, if I was that, I would have thought of that. Like that, what I'm saying? There's so many good scenes and good like countermeasures they come up with just to make sure, like just to show up that they're smart, that you can also use in real life, which is crazy. Death Note, I finished Death Note so many times. I also watched it in English dub, and oh my gosh, this is one of the anime that you can watch on an English dub. Just like Monster too. I watched Monster with English dub, Death Note with English dub, and that's coming from me, a person who watch anime Japanese VA ever since I was young. And I don't know, I think it's just a geographic thing, but when I was studying in the States, a lot of people were complaining, like, why do you watch anime with subs? You can just watch it in on dub. But if you're, I don't know, maybe in other countries like Asia, for example, and ours in the Philippines, we've always been watching anime in Japanese dub, or with English subtitles. So I don't know about them Americans, but they were like, why do you watch it with English subtitles? You can't read and listen at the same time. Like, that's a skill issue, isn't it? But yeah, it's like another whole different thing. But yeah, Death Note and Monster, you can watch them absolutely on English dub, and they would carry the same feelings as if they were in Japanese dub. I promise you, I'm not lying. You have my credibility for watching anime for more than half my entire life now. And here goes our number one. Can you guess what it is? Let me drink my milk. My number one anime out of all time is Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, bro. Nobody is gonna defeat Attack on Titan. Like, oh my gosh, I watched Attack on Titan. I remember watching AOT back when I was like 14, 13, and I'm 26 now. 20, I'm 24 now, but yeah, I remember watching it in a like I was just bored one day. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch an anime, and I was scrolling through the anime list, and I just clicked whatever was there. And when I clicked it, I remember watching a first episode, and it got me crying. And I was like, whoa, that's like an anime that gets you to cry is really rare. And I love the anime premise. I loved everything about it, and that's how I found out Attack on Titan, which is something that made me feel like, oh my god, I was meant to watch Attack on Titan, because it's not like I watched it on like somebody who was talking about it or it was popular in social media. I literally watched it when it was still on season 1. Like there was no season 2 and everything yet. Like nobody, it wasn't even that popular before. I really just found it on the list. I would just randomly click on something and it just clicked on me, and that's why I love it. The premise is basically protagonist. There's a lot of premise, honestly, depending on what season you're watching. But okay, let's start with the very first season. Season 1 is basically okay. So basically, they are the, how do I say this in not in a spoiling way? It's like they're the last remnants of humanity closed in walls, and there are man-eating creatures called Titans. They're like huge humanoids that are walking around those outside the walls, and basically the wall, there's a huge Titan that appears one day, destroys the wall, and then all of them just coming in and just kills the protagonist's mom and everybody else. So the one of their walls just disappeared. They shrank and defected to another, that's the smaller wall, and they're having shortage of food and poverty and everything. And basically their mission was is to just go out and explore whatever's outside the walls and find and understand what the hell is going on outside beyond past the Titans. And as you watch through this series, you will find the truth of the universe, the truth of the world, the truth about the Titans, what's beyond the sea, and everything else. It's honestly an amazing anime, because I remember I was depressed at that time. I was watching Attack on Titan, and Aaron's code, which means which he says all the time, like, I'll keep moving forward until all my enemies are destroyed, something like that. It really got me out of my depression. I was like, you know what, I'll keep on moving forward. That was my mindset. I was like, I'll keep on moving forward until I do this, I'll do that, I'll keep on moving forward. And until now, that's like my life motto, is to keep moving forward. And that's why I love Attack on Titan, because it affected my life, and it made me move forward a lot. So yeah, that's all of my top 5 anime, and I'm pretty sure one of those 5 will definitely, you will definitely love one of those 5. So just try it, and if you have tried it, tell me more about it, and let's talk about it. I promise you, one of these 5, or the 5 of them, will really not disappoint you at all. So yeah, that's all for my favorite anime, and let's talk more about it. See you guys.